Water. 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 Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when water.
Okay, are we ready to rock and roll? I know I am. Hello everyone! Happy Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever I decide to post this. Hey, what's up? How you guys doing? I'm doing pretty well. I just want to say that with Halloween right around the corner, I know you're all probably scrambling to find a last minute Halloween costume or just figure out what you're gonna wear for all of the ragers you'll be going to this year. Don't worry, I'm in the same boat as you guys. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do for all of the ragers I'll be going to this year. I'm totally kidding. I'm not planning on going to any ragers this year. We're still living in a pandemic, so please stop partying. But for real, back to what this video was actually about. I'm pretty sure I can safely assume that me, along with everyone else out there who has grown up in the early 2000s, have either developed a new obsession or are rehashing their old childhood obsession with the amazing, groundbreaking show Avatar: The Last Airbender. In honor of Nickelodeon's crowning achievement, I thought it would be really cool to dress up or did a little modern day take on one of my favorite characters from the show, Katara. Yes, the waterbending icon that we all want to be. So not only is Katara one of my personal favorite characters, I also think she's one of the most important characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I don't think the show would be the same without her. One of my favorite things about Katara is that she's so in tune with her emotions, and she shows so much compassion for so many people throughout the show. But her emotional composition is also one of her biggest flaws, which makes her feel that much more authentic. Throughout the course of the show, you really see Katara adopt this motherly role in the gang, and at times it's Katara's leadership that really holds the gang together throughout some of their really tough, dark times, especially in the part where they're all stranded in the desert. It's really Katara where she has to step up, and it's Katara's leadership that really holds the gang together and keeps them from falling apart. However, even though Katara seems to maintain this compassionate demeanor throughout the course of the show, and at times she does seem like a flawless character, the moment you really see her weaknesses shine through is during the Southern Raiders episode, when she angrily seeks out revenge on the Fire Nation soldier who killed her mother. But in that moment where she's really not herself, that's where I feel like she shows the greatest amount of growth by showing mercy to that Fire Nation soldier and by being able to really let go of her past traumas. And that moment alone just showed so much growth in her character. I felt like it was a pretty mature way to show character growth, considering the fact that Avatar is a kids show. Ugh, we love to see it. Also, can we talk about how she was so badass in that episode? And throughout the show, she just is continuously a badass, but one of her most badass moments were in that episode, and you could tell from Zuko's reaction to the way he saw her waterbending and stuff. He was like, oh, she is not messing around. That episode was really, really cool to watch. So yeah. Am I standing up instead of sitting down now? Yes, I wanted the change in scenery. But long explanation aside, I wanted to make a wrap dress with softer, more flowy details instead of bold, harsh accents to better match Katara's personality. Was this segment an unnecessarily long and overly elaborate explanation for the fact that I'm just gonna be sewing a wrap dress? Yes it was. But enough wasting your time. Let's actually get started on the dress. Like Aang learning how to master the elements, I would have to master 3 separate parts before putting my skills together to conquer the wrap dress lord. First, I would have to master the top. Then, I'd have to master the sleeves. And then, I would have to master the skirt before pulling a kuvira and uniting all of the pieces for this dress. Oh wait, sorry, wrong show, my bad. If you thought that was bad, just buckle up, because the Avatar references in this video are going to happen just as many times as Katara brings up her dead mom throughout the series. Okay, I'm done. Wait, where were we again? Oh right, the top. So in order to make the pattern for the top, I draped an old bed sheet onto my husband, aka dress form, and traced out a general pattern for what I wanted the top to look like for the front and back pieces. I then cut out those pieces of fabric from my scrap fabric and traced them onto some old grocery bags because I'm just classy like that. One change I made to the front piece was that I made the corner that would be connected to the back piece more of a corner shape so that the front and back pieces lined up evenly. And would you look at how satisfying this clip is? Ooh, nice. Either way, then I cut out 4 total pieces from the fancy silk fabric and from the cotton fabric so that each piece for the top was made of a cotton layer along with a nice fancy layer. I then pinned each of these pieces right sides together and sewed them together, making sure to leave the bottom part completely open. I then flipped those pieces inside out and sewed the sides of each front piece to each back piece and then along the seam that goes on the shoulders. And then I sewed the back pieces together. And with that, we have mastered the top and are ready to move on to the sleeves. So because I wanted the sleeves to be very flowy, I used this method called slashing and spreading to create a pattern for the flowy sleeves. So what I did was make a regular sleeve pattern, fold it in half, and then draw straight lines an inch apart across that sleeve pattern. I then cut along these lines right up to the very edge of the sleeve pattern. To be very clear, I did not cut these lines out, I just cut up to the edge. I then taped that sleeve pattern to another piece of paper and marked 3/8 of an inch away from every corner of the pieces that I cut out and taped the following corner to that mark and repeated this until the sleeve pattern was all spread out. I then cut out that pattern and traced out an identical pattern with a 1/2 inch seam allowance and cut out my sleeve pieces. Wow, that probably sounded very overwhelming. Well, let me just say, that was all the calm before the storm. Like the Dai Li agents from Bossing say, my sewing machine betrayed me. Okay, it didn't actually betray me, but it broke right when I started to hem my sleeves. I took it to get it repaired, and the people at the store said that my sewing machine wouldn't be ready until after Halloween. And here's the thing, I needed this project to be done before Halloween, so I began freaking out and felt a little hopeless until I talked to one of my best friends, Tori, about this sticky situation. I literally love Tori so much. We go way back. When I told Tori about my sewing machine, instead of pulling a Zuko, she pulled an Appa and literally saved my ass by letting me borrow her sewing machine. Girl, if you watching this, I love you. Shout out to you, Tori. Either way, there was only one problem with using Tori's sewing machine. It would mean that I'd only have 1 day to finish the dress. However, I wasn't gonna let this time crunch stop me, but I knew that it was gonna be a trippy time. Now that we are back on track, I hemmed the bottom of all of the sleeve pieces and then ironed them flat. So I want to make 2 layers of sleeves. So I cut out 4 total sleeve pieces and I sewed the top of the 2 layers together, then pinned the sleeves in place and sewed it to the top. Also, I just want to add that one sleeve layer is longer than the other. I thought it would look cool. But with that completed, we have officially mastered the art of the sleeve. And lastly, we have to master the skirt. First things first, I got my waist measurement and then used this circle skirt chart to find the radius measurement for an A-line skirt. I then measured out a quarter circle using that radius and then another quarter circle using my intended skirt length, which was 15 inches. Then I cut out the large skirt pattern, folded it in half, and then cut it along the fold line. In order to make the front of the skirt, I drew a curved line along one of the skirt halves that I made and used these patterns to cut out pieces of fabric for my skirt. So one important note is that I cut out 2 front pieces for the skirt, except they're opposite from each other. Because my fancy fabric is basically see-through, I cut out 2 layers of fancy fabric for each skirt piece. Then I pinned these pieces together, sewed them together, and then pinned the 3 skirt pieces together and sewed all of those pieces to make a skirt.
And with that, we have mastered the art of making the skirt. And now I can finally defeat the wrap dress lord. So what I did was line up the top with the skirt and made sure to line up the back pieces of the top with the back pieces of the skirt to make sure that everything was even and straight. We don't want any pieces stepping out of line because we all know what happens when you step out of line in the presence of these crazy kids. Okay, that also was a very forced Avatar reference, I apologize. Either way, I sewed the top and bottom together and the skeleton of my dress was complete. I then perfected the small details of the dress, but I didn't get clips of myself doing all of this because my camera battery died, so you guys are just gonna have to trust me on this. I first used the white fabric that I got to sew super long straps for the actual ties of the dress, and then I used the same white fabric to sew ruffles along the bottom of the skirt, and the final detail I added to the dress was that I hand sewed this super cool lace trim all along the neckline of the dress. And with that, my Katara wrap dress is finally done.
So that was my video about making a Katara dress. I really hope you guys enjoyed it or found it really helpful. And if you did, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. It would make my day. And if you like my personality or if you just like my face, please make sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below. And I think that's it. So yes, I hope you all stay safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!